Hey guys, I want to talk about the top deal breakers after a contract is signed, and what makes them actually fall through. And so there's like I'm going to say like two layers to this. One, we're going to talk about like financing, and so when there's financing involved, uh, there's a couple layers of what can happen there. You know, if you were pre-approved, then you've already kind of jumped one hurdle, but it's really just a preliminary hurdle. So when it comes to financing, you still have to make a formal loan application. So you have to follow through with that. Make sure that you submit all your financial information to the lender within a time. You have 7 days typically to get that done right away. Um, and then from there, you have to get, your verification of employment, turn in all your tax information, your check, your pay history, your uh, you show your down payment, where that's going to come from, your hand money, and then that all gets submitted to underwriting, and then from there you also have an appraisal that has to be done. So that's a hurdle. So it's like your personal, that's a hurdle. It's a potential deal breaker. The appraisal is a potential deal breaker. There's title work that has to be done. Typically, that's I'm going to say like 99, 95% of the time that's fine, or it's worked out if there is something that shows up. Um, so the appraisal, if an appraisal comes in low, then you got to renegotiate that, or hopefully you can renegotiate that. It just depends on the scenario that you're going to have with the seller in that instance, where they are financially. And so then the other deal breakers that you run into would be inspections, like property inspections. And so you're going to hire a independent home inspector to come in and inspect the property. The most common of inspections, not the only ones, but the most common would be just like like a full property inspection, where they're going to inspect the HVAC systems, the plumbing, the electric, the windows, the roof systems, the foundational systems. They're just going to go from a top to bottom, property inspection. They can add on inspections would be like a wood destroying insect report, which is commonly called, this termites, wood destroying insects, carpenter ants are the most common things that are called out in those areas. They do search for other things, but those are the most common of items. And then radon gas, which is, I would suggest you kind of do some research on that, but it's an odorless gas. It's natural in the ground, and then it's accumulated in homes. And the EPA suggests mitigation over certain levels. And I'm just going to have you, do your own research on that if you should or shouldn't do it. None of those are required. So when we say deal breaker, they say, "Oh, well, it didn't pass inspection." Well, it really comes down to your accepting of that inspection. Is there something in there that's just not accepting for you? Because you'll have the opportunity to negotiate that potentially. There's no requirement of the seller to make any repairs. It's just you can make a request, and from there is an open negotiation. So the top deal breakers would be, hey, plumbing issues, sewer line issues. You can have the sewer line. You can have a plumber come in and camera the sewer line. That's a possibility. Well and septic. If you're not in a city situation where there's a public water and public sewage, where it's actually a well and a septic, you can have those both inspected. Older septic systems, when they're older, they're older. I mean, they were not built to the specifications that they do now. It doesn't mean that they'll fail. Just means that there's a better chance of it. So there's again, it's to your acceptance. Maybe you're like, "Hey, I'm good with that. It seems to do what I want it to do." You're good. So I would recommend you have that conversation with a septic professional. But the biggest deal breakers is, you reviewing that home inspection report and finding some items on there that are maybe questionable, or just like a mild recommendation, uh, and then trying to negotiate with the seller in that scenario. And they say, "Hey, this is really not a big deal. This is something that is common, or it's not a brand new house." Those types of scenarios. So those would then become top deal breakers. Um, and so jumping back over to the lending side, when it's an appraisal, sometimes appraisers will call out certain things, and they would have to be like safety related items when there's an FHA appraisal or a VA appraisal being done, and they're calling out certain safety related items, peeling paint, GFCI outlets in the places of water, those types of things, handrails. Those are the most common things that are called out when it comes to um, FHA and VA. So other than that, I just wanted to kind of give you those things. I don't know if I hit any real specifics other than just the inspections and contingencies in general. So other than that, if you want to know more about specifically what could be an issue at your home, give me a call. We can discuss those items. You can send me some photos or I can come do a walkthrough. All right. Hope you're doing well. Have a blessed day.